Welcome to BioanthroStudies. I'm Vanessa Campanacho, a bioanthropological researcher. Today I'm going to talk about the delicious Portuguese egg custards. Well, more exactly about the skeleton found in the oldest Portuguese egg custard factory in Lisbon. I had the opportunity to study the skeleton with Dr. Duarte and Dr. David Gonçalves. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for my subscriber support. You are the best. Click the like button if you like the video. It helps my channel so much and only takes 2 seconds. I want to warn that this video contains image of human bones. Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. In 1994, the pumping system of the oldest egg custard factory in Lisbon, Portugal, needed to repair. But to everyone's surprise, they found a human skeleton. They contact the police, who recognized that the remains were older, and therefore outside their jurisdiction. Then they contact our archaeologist, Dr. Clementino Amaro, who brought along Dr. Cidália Duarte. However, the workers exhumed the skeleton before the specialist's arrival. According to them, the skeleton was seated, with his face down. The specialists could not confirm it. At the time, it was not legally mandatory for an archaeologist to be at a construction site, as this was only implemented 5 years later, in 1999. The archaeologist dated the skeleton as possibly being from the 16th century, because of the presence of 16th century ceramic in the same context. What do the bones tell us about this individual? The skeleton was of a middle-aged man with around 1 meter and 70 centimeters of height. His skeleton also shows some pathologies. On the vertebral column, he had spina bifida occulta on the 5th lumbar because of the lack of fusion of the spinous process. The left half of the spinous process overlaps the half right, as shown in the image. This is possibly a congenital condition, characterized by the lack of fusion of the vertebral arch posteriorly. So, in the back of the vertebra, which usually affects 1 or 2 of the lumbar vertebrae. Although not fatal as it lived to adulthood, the overlap is seen in the spinous process most possibly ensure a degree of protection of the spinal medulla. He possibly also had an abnormal lateral curvature of the spine called scoliosis, as the spinous process of the first thoracic and 4 lumbar vertebrae were curved. However, due to postmortem damage, it was not possible to determine its severity. But as the ribs didn't show any asymmetrical changes on their curvature, therefore suggests it was not severe. On his right hand, he had 2 exuberant intesial changes on the 3rd and 4th metacarpals, which are modifications on muscle, tendon, or ligament attachments to bone. On the femur, he had an asymmetry on the femoral neck, maybe a consequence of mechanical stress on this area during growth. While on the feet, he had hallux valgus, commonly known as a bunion, possibly associated with the use of constricted footwear. I have a video about the diagnosis of hallux valgus in skeletons. Check it out if you want to know more about this pathology. This individual was buried in unconsecrated soil in 16th century Catholic Portugal, where it was the social norm to have the dead buried within religious limits. Only in 1844 did burials become mandatory in cemeteries outside religious institutions. Therefore, this brings a lot of questions. Is this a non-normative burial? Was he assassinated and buried there to hide the crime? Or was he excommunicated for some time of behavior or disease, depriving him of a Catholic burial? We will never know. There is no evidence on his skeleton, and we lack contact information on his burial, as he was exhumed by the workers. His burial there will remain a mystery.